Hello students. In this session, we are going to discuss about one of the journal program for BCA students. The problem statement is 15th one. Program to display the message Welcome to Visual Basic at the center of the window with random forecolor for the message and random back color for the form. The problem statement says that we have to design the VB application to display the message that is welcome to Visual Basic at the center of the window. Okay, we can use the control called label to display this text on the label as the caption of the label, and the label should appear on the center of the form or the center of the window, and it must have the random forecolor. We must write the code to generate for the label. The text should be appeared with random forecolor. In the sense, forecolor in the sense the text color of the label should be randomly changing. The forecolor must change randomly. Okay, for the message. So this, whatever the message is there, that is the caption of the label, its color has to be changed randomly. The forecolor has to be changed randomly, and also random back color for the form. We have to change the background color of the form randomly. So here, randomly in the sense, we have to specify certain time interval. For example, for every 1 second, or for every 2 seconds, for every 3 seconds, or for every half second, the color has to change. The color of the form, the background color of the form, as well as the forecolor of the text has to be changed. Okay, so we'll design the application here. First, start the application, Microsoft Visual Basic 6.0. Select standard exe project. Here is the form designer window. Resize the form according to the requirement. So I will just resize the form here. Let the form size be this much. Okay, the application form size be this much. And here we have to design. The first phase in development of application is designing. We have to complete the design here. So I will take the label here to insert the text that is welcome to Visual Basic. Then I will take two command buttons here. The first command button is, when I click the first command button, it has to start. The application has to start. In the sense, it has to start changing the forecolor of the label, and also it has to start changing the background color of the form when I click on the first command button. And when I click on the second command button, it has to stop. Okay, so I will take one command button here and I will set it here, and another command button I will set it somewhere here. Okay, now we have the form design, but now we have to take another that is control called timer control. Very important control, because as this application is a timer event based application, as for every 1 second or every 2 seconds or whatever the time specified, the time interval specified for that particular time interval, it has to change the form color, background color, as well as the forecolor of the label. So take the timer control, and I will set the timer control somewhere here. Any, you can keep anywhere on the form, as it is not going to appear when you run the application. Fine, it will be present in the background only. Now we have to write the code. Before writing the code, the second step in designing the application is we have to change the properties. So first design phase is over. This should be your first diagram. Then second phase is changing of the properties. For the form, I will change the name of the form as FRM1. Then caption of the form, I will set it to changing back color and forecolor. You can set any relevant caption. Then see, for the form I will set one of the property called, I don't want to maximize this form at the runtime. So I have to set the border style property and set it to fixed single. If you want, you can set it any type, or you can just leave it as it is, none. No problem. Okay, I will just set it to fixed single. Then I will change the next control property called first command button. I will change the name of the command button as CMD start and caption as start. For the second command button, I will change the name as CMD stop, caption as stop. And for the label, I will change the property called name of the label LBL text. LBL text. I had just given the name as LBL text, and I will change the caption of this label as what caption we have to provide, as the problem statement says, welcome to Visual Basic. Yes, here is the problem statement. We have to write the message that is welcome to Visual Basic. So I will change the caption as welcome to Visual Basic as the caption, and I will increase the width of this label. Okay, see here the label is appearing here somewhere here, or if you just keep it somewhere here, but what does the problem statement saying? The text has to be displayed where? At the center of the form, center of the window. So but our that is label control is present somewhere here, not at the center. Okay, then later we'll just arrange that, but here I will change another property of the label, that is alignment property. So what does this alignment property? It is not going to align the complete label. Okay, it is going to align only the text inside the label. So I will just set it to center, so the text in the label will appear at the center of the label. Next, I will change another property of this label called font. I want the font size to be increased. Okay, so let the font size be 15, and also if you want, you can set it to bold. Let the font style must be bold. Okay, here for the font I have changed font style, set it to bold, and size to increase it to 15. That's all. Click on OK, and if you can just increase this here. Fine. Now next, timer. I want to change the properties of the timer control. So I'm not going to change the name of the timer. If you want, you can change the name also. But here, whenever I run the application, by default, the timer will be enabled when you run the application. Okay. But here, as I have taken two command buttons here to start and stop, so initially this must be, the timer must be disabled, because whenever it is enabled, its respective code, whatever the code we are writing for the timer event to change the background color or forecolor, it is going to work whenever it is enabled. So at the startup, when you start your application here, the timer must be first initially disabled. It means that we have to set the enable property of the timer to false initially, and I will set the time interval property of the timer to 1 second, that is equal to 1000 milliseconds. This will be in terms of milliseconds. You can observe here the description. Okay, in terms of milliseconds, so 1000 milliseconds is equal to 1 seconds. Fine. Now see, the design phase is over, and also we have changed the properties, but we have to set up the label to the center of the window, this form. How? Select the label here and go to the format menu. Here in the format menu, we have the submenu called center in form. Okay, how we are going to set it to center? This particular object, the label object, we have to set it to center in the form. So there are basically two options, whether you want to set horizontally center or vertically center. Anyway, we want to set both the manner. Horizontally it should be in the center, and also vertically it should be in the center. Okay, so first I will set it to horizontally center. See, it is going to appear horizontally center on this form, and also I want to set it to vertically also center. So center vertically. Okay, so now it is exactly at the center of the form. And also text we have aligned it to, alignment is already we have set it to center. Fine, now it is fine. When you run the application here, see, this is how actually it is appearing here. So we have set the property not to increase the width or height of this particular form. That is, we have set it to fixed single, border style fixed single, so you cannot increase the size of this form. Okay, now we have to write the code for what the start button should do and what does the stop button should perform. Now see here, I will just write the code for start button here. So when you write or when you click on the start command button, what it has to do? It has to start the operation. Means whatever the timer event that is there, the timer event has to start when you click on the start command button. So I will just specify here, I will just enable the timer for the command button 1. Timer 1 dot enabled equal to true. That's all. Okay, the main program or the main coding part we are going to write in terms of, that is in the event called timer event of the timer 1 control. But here the command buttons are just used for enabling and disabling the timer, that's all. So first command button, start command button, is going to enable the timer, and stop command button, that is cmd stop, is going to disable the timer. That is timer 1 dot enabled equal to false. It means that it is going to disable. Now we have to write the code for this timer event. So double click on the timer. The code skeleton will appear here. Timer, that is private sub timer 1 underscore timer. Private sub is the start of sub procedure. Timer 1 is the name of the control, timer 1, and underscore the event name. Only one single event will be there for timer 1. You can observe here. That is timer event. Now I will write the code here. So exactly what we have to do here according to the problem statement, program to display the message at the center of the form or center of the window with random forecolor for the message. Random forecolor for the message. Remember this one. And also random backcolor for the form. See, hence we have to change the random forecolor for the message. Just observe here. Forecolor in the sense the label text color, the label caption color we have to change. So what property I have to select for the label? That is forecolor property. Label 1, and just change the name of the label as LBL text 1 dot. What is the name of the label? It is LBL text. Okay. LBL text dot forecolor. Forecolor is with respect to the color of the text that is present on the label. LBL text dot forecolor is equal to, see here we are using what, one of the function called QB color function. Okay, so what does QB color function do? QB color, and here we have to provide the argument. The argument is nothing but the integer argument. It accepts the integer arguments. So before actually completing this journal program, I will just briefly explain what does the QB color function do. What is exactly the QB color function is. See here, the QB color function is going to return, it returns a long type of value. Okay, it is going to return a long type of value representing the RGB colors. RGB stands for red, green, blue. So whatever the color combinations we can able to see, okay, all the color combinations are designed or developed or implemented by the concept called RGB, red, green, blue. By the combination of these three, that is main colors RGB, any color that is formation or any color can be generated. Okay, so QB color returns a long representing the RGB color code corresponding to the specified color number. Okay, so whatever the color number we are going to specify for the QB color as the argument here, it is going to generate RGB color code for the specified color number. Here is the syntax: QB color of color. This color is nothing but it is the argument here, and its value must be the integer value. See, the required color argument, this argument is a whole number, the integer argument, and its value will be in the range of 0 to 15 only. Okay, its value must be in the range of 0 to 15 only. If you provide -1 or any negative numbers, minus values, then it will give an error. Or if you provide the value that exceeds 15, for example 16 or 17 or 20, whatever the number exceeding 15, then also it gives an error. The value, that is the argument color, QB color argument value, must be between the range of 0 to 15, including both the values 0 and 15. Okay, now see here, the color argument has these settings. See, if you provide the argument as 0, then what must be, what color it is going to appear? It is going to appear, it is going to display what color? Black color. Okay, if the argument is 1, then blue color. If the argument is 2, green. Then 3, that is scan color. Then 4, red. Then 5, magenta. Then yellow. Then white. Likewise, it is going to display the respective colors here from the range 0 to 15. Okay, if you provide other than 15 or 0 to 15, then it is going to give an error. So here the color argument represents the color values. Whatever the argument you are specifying for the QB color function, they are going to represent the color values, the respective colors here. Starting with the least significant byte, the returned value specifies the RGB. The returned value, whatever the QB color function is going to return, it is going to specify what? Red, green and blue values used to set the appropriate color in the RGB system used by Visual Basic for applications. Fine. So we'll see here with the demonstration in this journal program, QB color of, if I specify 2, okay, see, when I run the application, when the timer starts, when does the timer event will start? When first command button is clicked. Okay, so what is the code when the timer starts? Label first, that is label forecolor is changing it to QB color of 2. What is QB color of 2? That is green. Let us see. When I run the application and when I start the timer here by clicking this command button. See, now the text color is changed to what? That is the forecolor of the label. Forecolor of the label, in the sense the text color is changed to green. Yes, as we have mentioned the argument as 2. But see here, it has to change, the value has to change randomly, or the forecolor has to change randomly. Yes, so if I specify here 16, what must be the color for the 16? See, if I specify 16, 16 is not a valid argument. It has to display the error. Let us see. When I click start, see, it is displaying me the error, invalid procedure call or argument, because the argument is not a valid argument. The argument value must be in the range of 0 to 15 only. Okay, for example, if you specify any negative numbers, -2, then when you run the application, see here, again it is going to display the same error message. Then if I specify 15, then what must be the color it is going to display for the 15? Bright white. So the text will be, the forecolor will be white color. Let us see. See, the text is changed to white color, bright white color. Fine. Okay. Now let us see how to change this color randomly. Already while discussing the string functions, we have discussed one of the string function called RND, random function. It is going to generate the random numbers between the range 0 to 1. So we are going to take the help of that function RND, and using that function we can able to change the colors randomly here. See, RND, QB color of RND into 15. What it is going to do? QB color in the sense already we have just seen, that is it is used to change the color, okay, by specifying the argument value here. But here internally what we are using here, random function, it is going to generate the random number, RND function, random function. So it is going to multiply here both the values. The value 15 is going to multiply with the random function as it is generating the random number. And hence the particular RND into 15, the complete multiplication value is going to be considered as the argument for QB color. Then it is going to generate the color randomly based on this time interval. We have set the time interval for the timer is 1 second. So for every 1 second, it is going to change the color, random colors. Just observe here, run the application, start. See, the forecolor of the label is changing randomly with the random colors, different colors. Yes, but see, when I click on stop, the timer is disabled now. Now it has stopped changing the colors because the timer event is, or the timer control is disabled. Hence the timer event is stopped. So whatever the code we have written for timer event is not executing currently. See here, if I specify only 2 here, RND into 2. So how many colors are going to be changed? How many random colors are going to generate? Just observe here. So first color is blue, then green, black. Only three colors it is appearing: blue, green and black. Okay, so if you want to change with the multiple colors, all the colors, then you have to provide here the highest number, the highest argument value for the QB color, that is 15. So that when you run the application here, you are going to get as the forecolor the different random colors. Okay, now when you click on stop, the timer event will stop and its respective code is not going to be executed here. So it is present here as it is. It is not changing the color here. Now we have to change. We have seen how to change the forecolor of the label. Now what color we have to change? The form background color also has to be changed randomly. So form name, that is FRM1 dot back color property. Okay, instead of specifying form name, you can just specify me dot back color. That also was. Okay, so form frm dot back color is equal to qb color of. We have to change randomly, right? So rnd into, give the maximum value for the qb color. Now see here, when I run the application, click on start, then only it starts executing the code that is written for timer event. Okay, until the timer starts, it is not going to execute the code. So now when I click on this command button, the timer event will start and its respective code is going to be executed. See, the background color of the form is also changing randomly, and also the forecolor of the label is also changing randomly. It is working fine. But see here, we have for the label, we have this particular color, that is back color for the label. So what I will do, I will just change the property for this label, that is go to the design window and select the label here. Okay, it is about, now we have to change one of the property for called back style, and it is present as opaque. I will just set it to transparent so that this complete label back color or background of the label will be transparent. So based on the form's color, whatever the form color is there in the background, it is going to be appeared for the label also. So I will just set the back style to transparent for the label. Now when you run the application here, see, yes, the background color is also changing for the form randomly with random colors, and also the forecolor of the label is also changing randomly. So this is the journal program for BCA students. When you click stop, it is going to stop. The timer event is stopped. The timer is disabled here for the second command button. So it has stopped executing the timer event based code. So this is a journal program for BCA students.